Welcome to my working table, both to new and old viewers. My name is Lisbeth and I'm an abstract mixed media artist who likes to work in many different medias. Those of you who had followed me for a while knows that I like to make collages. In most of my videos I have been making paper collages, but I also very much like to do collages in fabric and do some hand stitching or slow stitching on them. So today my plan is to make a 20 by 20 centimeter fabric collage. So I will begin to see what I can find of interesting pieces I feel drawn to in this box. And I will pick not a big amount, but some pieces I think I like. This is this, yeah. Maybe that one. Yeah, I think this is enough. And I will sit that here beside me. For my substrate, I like to work in this heavy felt. It is not pure wool. I don't think it has ever seen sheep this kind of felt, but I like it because it has a certain stiffness and you can hold it and stitch like this, so that suits me very well. So I will begin to start to play and do some, what could you call it, auditioning the places, and in other words, make a nice composition, I think we can call it. It's too small. This one here is better, and I really like those frayed edges here. And yeah, perhaps this piece up here. And I do a little overlapping because when I will start hands embroider them later, it's nice they have a little overlap. And then I have this berry green kind of. Yeah, I think I will have to make it double. That is perhaps too bling bling. Then I have there. I think this is better. This here, and it is some kind of, I don't know what. I think it is for when you are making flower arrangements or so. It is not fabric and it is not paper, but yeah, I think I will put this down here and perhaps this down here like that. Then I have a base layer, and we can always put a little more on it if I want. perhaps like this. Yeah, we will see. I will put them aside for the start. And the next thing I will do is to take my glue stick. And I know many of you who is working with fabric probably would do that, but for me it is the simplest way to just secure them a little. I don't want to put glue all over them and then they're plop sitting there. It is just they stay in place. So I will do that. If you want to be sure that you put the pieces the exact same spots that you have decided, you can always take a picture with your phone and look at that before you start putting some glue and putting them down. You can see it isn't much glue I'm putting on there. So I will just go to the edge and to the edge and place it there. And do the same with this one. Oh, I think I need a fresh glue stick. This one is used too, but I think that's enough here. And then I will do exactly the same here. We can always cut the edges clean when we're done. It's absolutely the last thing I do, because when you start sewing and moving around it can always fray, so wait until you're done to. Yeah, perhaps I should have ironed this one, but that's too late now. Perhaps that, yeah. Again, you can see I like frayed edges, so they come in here. Yeah. Oh yeah, this one should be under, so you can always lift it a little. Let's see here. Flap it down here, so this is secured. And then the last piece, I like those frayed edges here. They are so yummy. Yeah. So now I have the base layer, and I will let it sit for a couple of minutes so I'm sure that the glue is dry. It isn't that smart to put your needle through the wet glue, but it will only take a couple of minutes. Yeah, but I like the composition here as it is. Now I will have to choose what color thread I want to use. And if anyone is interested, this is the yarn I'm using, or thread. I think it is meant for weaving, but I like to sew with it, and I like all the kind of colors there is here. You can of course use any kind of yarns or thread, whatever your preferred. But yeah, as far as I remember, I think I will take these green ones here and see if they matches. I will pull you in again. There. Perhaps this would do, and this will do, and perhaps a dark one for this one here. Oh no, that don't work. Yeah, perhaps this one. Yeah. So I think this is the yarns I'm going for, and perhaps also a black. So this is dry in a couple of minutes, so I will be back. I can show you if I put a pin in this heavy felt and the fabric, you can see it buckles like you can't work with such a pin in here. I can't work with it that way. So that is why I glue the pieces down. I know you could get some small claims for when you're doing patchwork. Perhaps you could put them on if you want to secure this more. But I will make a knot. And the first thing I want to do before I start the embroidery is to secure all the edges, the 4 edges. And I like to use a thread you hardly can see on this piece here. So I just come up near the edge. And then I do the small stitches I can do on the front. And along on the back. It's just to secure them again apart here. The dark thing here isn't perhaps the easiest thing to see, but trust me. Small on the front and long stitch on the back. You can see here. And this is how it looks on the back. And I will continue doing that down till here. Now I'm at the end of this fabric, and I just make the last little stitch, go through here, turn it around, and then I just go up here. Not through the felt, but into the felt, and then I cut it off. And you can see the fabric isn't going anywhere, it is sitting there. Then I take the next color, and I think I will sew this piece down here. I think I can use the same thread on these 2 pieces. And that is nice, so you don't have to change color here. And I will start here again. Come up. And the small stitch. Perhaps it is easier to see here when it is not so dark a fabric. And small stitch down and long on the back. You can see here, and on the back you can hardly see them, but I will continue all the way up there. So now I have been stitching all the way around here, and I have changed thread there and there and there. I think there's 4 different colors here. You don't have to do it, but I think it looks nice if these things aren't so visible. This piece I have also sewn here because I know I won't do anything here, and I know I will embroider something here on. There are some holes in the fabric already, so I will use that for something. So I just think I will take my needle and just attach the edge here a couple of places, so I'm sure it won't run away. And here it is. Because you're sewing in this felt, don't do it very tight because then it will buckle. So now I think this is on its place, and I will tie the end here. So you can see this is flapping and this is flapping, but that's okay. That's no, that there isn't okay. I think I will also sew it down with small stitches here, but because my plan is to make some long lines here, so I won't be doing anything over the edge here, so I would have to secure that too. I'll do that and be back. As you can see, I've really tried to make the stitches as small as I can, so it is just like nesting the fabric down. I don't mind they're a little bigger around the edges, but here I want to have them so invisible as possible. So here, and again, tie the thread up here. So now this is secured. Yeah, I think I will make a row down here with, I think they are called tab stitches or perhaps tack stitches. I'm not sure, but it is like a running stitch, but instead of you're sewing that way, you sew them this way. And now I will have to decide what color I want to use here. So these two are very dark and are very light, so it has to be a color you can see both places, and you can with this one, and you can, yeah. I think I will be brave and try to use this relatively bright color. So again, thread your needle and make a knot. And if we start down here, I want them relatively long, so I will come up here and go down here, and then I will come up here and down here. Up here and down here. That isn't a very difficult stitch, but I think it is gives some nice effect. If anyone knows exactly what the stitch is calling, please write it in the comments. I know some of the English terms for the stitches or the names for them, but some of them I don't. But I think you got the idea here. Yeah, this is the way. I will continue sewing all the way up here and be back. So I'm finished with this row here, and I like they are a little wonky. And I have started sewing down here. As you remember, there are all these small holes here from the self edge, and I think, yeah, perhaps it's a little difficult to see, but I have taken this color here and I start coming up in the lower row and like a half cross stitch up in the hole up there. It isn't the easiest thing to see, not either for me. So they're up in the hole here and down in this hole here. They are not so big, these stitches here, but I think you know what I mean, or you got the idea. So I will continue this row down and be back. I got to the end of the row here, and it is perhaps obvious, but to make cross stitches, because you already have the half of it, so I will just continue going that way. And I think when you reach this point where you begin on this and what else you do here, this is the time where you should enjoy it and take your time and let your thoughts go wandering on all kinds of things. Just be in the moment. So there's something quite meditative with this kind of stitching. It is the planning and deciding what to do that is the exciting thing, but it doesn't make you relax like this do. So now you can see they are coming here. So I will continue the row down and be back. I think these stitches turned out quite nice, and I have covered the holes there was in the fabric, and I like that. Now I will do something up in this corner, and I have decided to make some small random seed stitches. In Danish we call them specklings, but it is like one single running stitch, and they are placed completely random over the surface. Not surface, over the fabric here. You can make them as long as you like and as short as you like, and as much or as little space as you want between them. Yeah, and also I have found this fabric here, I think looks nice here, and this round piece. The first morning after New Year, I always go out on the street and find these round things. I think they are from the firecrackers, and there lies a lot of them on the street. And then I take them inside, and yeah, it was raining here in Denmark New Year's Eve this year, so they were quite wet. But I placed them and dried them, so I think this looks nice, so I will put them there. But first I will put the seed stitches random out here, and not to waste any thread or working time. I'm not putting any in here, I think. So a seed stitch, I will turn it around, and I have chosen this gray, dark gray bluish color. I like to use the same color of threads that I have used around the border, different places. But this is quite simple. You come up and go down, and then you have a small stitch, and then again down here. If you were doing this with cloth, and you have the cloth or fabric in an embroidery hoop, you can do this stitch in one working way in one moment. But you can't do that because you can't go up and down here. Yeah, perhaps you can, but I don't like to do it. So this is just take it slow and easy, and not easy, but don't think so much about anything, but just do, and let your thoughts go wandering. When I began this project here, I had no idea it would end up looking like this. And since I'm filling all the space out here, perhaps it wasn't needed to take this little row down here to secure the fabric, but done is done. And it doesn't matter. But I think you got the idea. So I will take my time to embroider this area here and be back. I decided it would be too much if the seed stitches come all the way down here. I think they will be too much with these small dots and all these at the same place. You can see like this. So I stopped up here, and I just will nest this down here first, and then I just give it a little glue stick here. And I think I will place it there. And since I haven't got any glue down the edges, I just can start stitch already, and the same procedure I will make them so small as I'm possibly able to. Again here, down. For me, it is really a nice thing. You can, that this is soft and stiff at the same time. So you can hold it in your hands and just stitch. I'm not so good at using a hoop. And if it is 20 by 20 centimeters, you can always have your hand so you can hold it without any problems. If you go bigger, that could be a little more problematic. So I will continue all the way around and be back for the next step. I just found this little piece and I think it looks nice here. You never know you are done until you are done. So I will sew that on and I can show you for the last thing is how you put this one on. But this you don't need me to, you don't need to see me sew that on. It's exactly the same as the other one there. Now it is sewn down and then I would put this piece up. I will just give it a little glue here. And yeah, let it sit there. Now is a $100 question. Do I want to use that color thread or that color thread? I think I will go with the dark blue. So I will just secure this one here. Tie a knot. Yeah, and I think I will come up in, if I can hit the middle. Yeah, I could. And just go down here. I have to stitch through a lot of layers here. Up in the middle again. And down here. And up in the middle again. It is like 12 and 3 and 9 and 6 o'clock. And then we can take just one more. Up in the middle, and then middle between there and there. And again up in the middle, and in between here. Now it won't run anywhere. So now I'm done, I'm sure. So I will remove these things here and then I will take my scissor for fabric. Oh, sorry, it's here. And then I will turn it around, and then I will cut the edges clean. You could also have taken your self-healing cutting mat and a ruler, or yeah, I don't know, a round thing you can cut with. Perhaps that would have been better. Yeah. There it is. When I got up this morning, I had an idea I would make a fabric collage. But you never know what you get until you start wandering around in your box with the fabric, or you start stitching. And that is the exciting thing about working this way. I haven't in my mind thought of this when I got up this morning, but here it is. And please remember to enjoy when you're stitching the parts where you just can get in a flow. I will find a frame or a canvas and show you how I would mount it, and I will find another substrate to show it to you. So here it is, the finished piece, and I'm quite satisfied with it. You can always try to turn it in the other 4 directions and see if there perhaps is another way. This could work too, but I don't think I like the dark piece up. I like the dark piece in the bottom of it. But sometimes you will get surprised and find another way is better than the way you made it. But you can take a canvas at the same 20 by 20 centimeters like this here, and you can glue it down, and it will be sitting there, and that looks nice. You can use textile glue for gluing it down, and when you have done it, put it under some heavy pressure this way here, put something in here, and I think it will stay there. You can always also not always, also choose to take a let me see if I can get up here, a 30 by 30 centimeter piece, and then you will get about 5 centimeters all the way around instead. And here you can sew it on, because you can sew through this. There's no wood under here. You can also, if you don't like it is white, you can paint it in any color you like, and that looks nice too. So this is the options for this way of making collages. So I hope you enjoyed the video and you find it useful and helpful, and I've got I don't know what to say, and you would like to try to embroider yourself. You don't need to could do a lot of different stitches, that you can get a lot far with only a few stitches. I haven't used that many here. So I hope you would give it a thumbs up, and perhaps consider subscribing my little channel. That would be very helpful. So take care, be creative. Until next time. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say I will give you some close-ups at the end of the video. But bye-bye for now.